Hi there, you are tuned into Beauty and Braids, the podcast where I, Karen Tenard, has conversations about all things relevant to personal growth and development. Just a heads up, I'm unfiltered. You're welcome. Hey guys, you already know it's your girl Karen, and I'm back with another episode. This time, joining me is Sakina Ibrahim, and we are about to get into meditation. So, welcome, Sakina.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. I'm excited.
You're welcome, girl. Like, it's been a week. Like, I've been trying to get you, and I just was like, it's so much stuff going on, and I was trying to, just
Process.
process it and just try to come up with authentic topics and a conversation that is just effortless. I didn't want to force it. So today I was just like, let's do it today because I'm okay now. Like, like I was just it's just so much stuff going on. Like, I'm just gonna yeah. And I was reading a book. What led that was because I was reading a book. What is it? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Girl. So, and I came across a chapter. I was reading it, and it was speaking on meditation, and I was like, yes. I was like, thank you. I got that download, and I was just like, let me hit up Sakina and get this going because I don't want to lose it. So yes. So first of all, you are calling from where right now?
I'm in LA. I live in Los Angeles now.
Okay. Because were you like traveling this recently?
Yes, recently it's a great story. When the news first started breaking about shutdowns in city, like slowly each city was starting to shut down, I got the download to leave LA. LA hadn't yet been shut down, but it was coming. And I live downtown, and we are very close to Skid Row. And I didn't know what the climate was going to be down here, but I knew being in a congested area downtown was not what I wanted. So my girl and I decided to hit the road and head south towards...
Who's this girl?
Miss Jonelle. Who else?
I was
like, So we decided to hit the road and drive south to Texas, which really turned into a beautiful surprise of a road trip and a wonderful spiritual journey and awakening. And yes, so I was on the road traveling. I ended up in the Sedona Mountains in Arizona. These are the Red Hill Mountains that are so big you cannot even begin to imagine how God created something so beautiful. And we climbed to the top and we meditated for hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely grounded.
Yes. We are grounded.
Oh man, I think I've seen a picture you posted with you and Jonelle. I think was she on your back? You was on her back? Something like that?
I was on her back. Yeah.
I was like, they having the time of it. I was like, I'm with it. Spiritually, I'm there.
Yeah, the rest of the world was in havoc, and we were like, God is so good. Like,
well, he's still good.
Beautiful mountains.
Yes. God is always good, even in the midst. Amen. So, like if you can find the silver lining and enjoy his work while everything else is happening, then, yes, do that because we can't prosper and we cannot get out of this on the basis of fear. So,
That's right.
just the beauty of just living and appreciating life as it is. Like I haven't I haven't gone outside for the last, I think it's like, no, I went out yesterday for some groceries, but really maybe 4 days I went, and it's just like I want to go out and enjoy, but I feel like outside looks so contaminated every time I look at it. Like I'm like, oh,
Well, you're in New York, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. New York is a different beast right now.
hmm
Yeah,
Because nobody's taking
yeah.
this, like, well, people are taking it seriously, but there's other people who are just like so close. Like the other day, I was in the elevator, like this dude was talking to the other person in there, and I'm just looking like, yo, like etiquette. This is corrupt. Stop talking. Like we
Mm.
don't got that much space in this elevator. Like the circulation ain't in here. Like I'm just kind of like, okay. But I'm
Well, there's a lot of myths about if it's airborne, you from my understanding, you can't really catch it from talking with someone. You need to have contact and then put your hands in your face or your mouth or near your respiratory system is the last explanation that I saw from a doctor. I did have someone run the other way when I was on the elevator today when they saw me on the elevator. And I was like, bro, I have a mask on. I have a mask on. I have gloves on. But if you want to wait, you can wait. So that's where the fear stuff comes in. Us just kind of not really knowing. A lot of people don't really know
yeah, like
what this thing is.
yeah. So I don't know what happened. Last year I had it. Last year, right after November, I mean Thanksgiving, the day after, literally, I ended up coming down with something that I didn't know what the hell it was. I had to sit up straight and not uh like I couldn't really go to sleep. For a few days I did not go to sleep. It was the worst. I couldn't breathe. So if I laid down on my back or my stomach, that's the way I sleep, my
Mm,
lungs hurt. My chest was like,
mm.
and I end up just propping myself up to sit down and sleep, or take cat naps because I couldn't sleep for the long haul because I had to keep spitting, because it was so much phlegm. And I just was like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, I'm crying and I'm just like, I want to sleep. But if I sleep, I die. Like, I just was like,
Yeah.
so it was a whole bunch of that. And then, now I'm like, wow, I did have it, but I didn't fear it because I just thought it was some, like, something I picked up and I was like, I'm going to get through it. So I didn't have the mindset of giving up and thinking, oh my God, this
This
is,
is gonna kill me.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like, oh, I'm going to take my little remedies. I'm going to make sure I stay away from any type of milk products.
Yep.
Um, I'm a, drink tea, soup, like anything hot, wrap myself out. I was just like, I'm going to sweat the hell out of this out. So,
And you are
so that,
not the first person who lives in New York who's told me they had it already. A couple of people said, "Oh yeah, I had that. I didn't know what it was." I was like, "This is some kind of different bug." Everybody knew it was a different
mm,
kind of bug, but it didn't really, But the great thing is, without the fear, you overcame it. Your immune system kicked its butt. You know what I mean? And here you are,
mm,
along with other folks that I know, which connects to
yeah,
how much your mind and your thoughts, relate to your body and your health.
exactly. So I'm going to go right into like meditation. Like, so I've always struggled with meditation. Like, what do you focus on? Like, okay, let's rewind that. Like, what led you to start practicing meditation?
So I started meditating when I was a teenager. I remember doing a seventh grade social studies project on Buddhism, and it really just gained my interest. The philosophy of it, this idea of
Mm,
inner happiness, regardless of what's happening around you.
girl.
This idea of they call it the sevenfold path, the idea of compassion for all living beings, and this this state of beingness that every person holds within them that is of peace. And
Mm-hmm.
that is how I kind of first started. Oh, I'm sorry, my doggies. How I first started
He
exploring.
was agreeing with you.
Yes.
It's like, yes.
How I first started exploring meditation. And I didn't read any tutorial guides. YouTube, I don't even think we had then. I just sat
Mm,
down. I sat down and I closed my eyes. I know prayer. Meditation is a form of prayer.
right.
I know prayer. So if you sit in silence, um, you start to feel calm. And once I just started exploring, I really just explored. I kind of just jumped right in, and it was funny because I grew up in a Pentecostal family, and I thought that meditation was wrong at a certain
Wow.
point. I felt like, and even having conversations with my other Christian friends, it was kind of like, oh, if you meditate, you bring the devil up.
Girl,
There
I'm
was
having
these.
that same problem right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
just keep it to
the only
myself.
the only devil that you're facing is the one inside of you. That's
Mm-hmm.
really what it is. You're facing your own darkness.
But,
And that's why it's part of why it's so scary for people.
yeah, but the thing is like as Christians, we are, we believe in the spirit, right?
Yeah.
God is a spirit, the Holy Spirit, Father and Son. So it's like, so meditating to listen to him, you have to get silent.
Yes.
Meditation is a form of silence. And the thing, or like, people, they just take it for what it says and they don't really go deep into it. And like, my mom was Catholic. I turned Christian through my stepmom, really, because she exposed me to the church of Christianity. And my mom didn't want that, so I was atheist for a second. Then I
Mm,
ended up later on in life finding the same church that I was exposed to, and I was like, yo, I'm home. So,
mm,
and then now it's still a journey because I'm also on that spiritual journey. And I started watching Avatar, the cartoon.
yeah.
And I like, I know I was here before. Like, I know there was past lives because I always analyze, and well, I guess it's the Virgo sun in me, because I analyze everything that I watch, everything that I hear, everything that I watch. So when I see my brother watching the Avatar thing, and I'm like, ugh, all you do is watch cartoons. Then one time something just told me watch it. And every episode I was like taking notes. I was like, oh my God, like he is mastering all
Yes.
elements. He was about the chakra, he was meditating, the Buddhist. So I was like, you know what? There's so much message in so many messages in that cartoon, and people, it's just going over people's head. And I'm like, yo, this is amazing right here. And so I end up on the struggle where I'm like, yeah, I identify as a Christian, but I practice almost anything that keeps the sanity, like just
Mm,
promote peace. And I was just like, I do gravitate to Buddhism because it's just the calmness and the beauty of everything, like everything living,
yeah.
like
Well, so there's a
the,
lot of like misconceptions, right? So we have to remember that like God is not a religion, we that's man-made. We made these different titles up, as sort of tools.
I
And
agree.
I know it took a long time for me to kind of say, well, when Jesus went to the top of the mountain, what you think he was doing up there? Like bro was
Mm-mm.
meditating, like,
Yeah,
sitting,
we are.
connecting with higher consciousness, connecting with a deep sense, the oneness, yeah, is what it is, the oneness between yourself and the higher power, which we call very many different names based on religion and ethnicity and, you know, background, this kind of things. So I consider myself Christ conscious. So it was scary because I didn't have the resources to research, you know, as a teenager. But my own journey has kind of led me in on its own path to find so much inner peace and really to face a lot of my trauma, to overcome anxiety, to overcome depression, life, you know, life obstacles, because life happens for everybody. Um,
What is like the worst thing that's happened to you that you had to, turn to that find that inner
Ooh,
peace?
uh, grief.
Girl, must
Grief
share.
is the worst. When my uncle passed away, and that was the first time
Mm.
of me dealing in my adult life with death. He passed away 2 days after my birthday, four years
Whoa.
ago, and it was very traumatic. It was unexpected. I wasn't home at this time, with my partner at this time, and you know, my family's calling, my phone wasn't working. It was like kind of all this disconnection. And I remember my mom saying, "You need to get home now." And I was like, "What happened?" And she's like, "Carl's in the hospital." And I knew it. I knew he was dead. I knew it. And I yelled it. I was like, "Carl's dead." And I like screamed and lost
Mm.
it. Like, you know how you see in the movies, like, "Oh, is that how people act when someone dies?" Like,
Right. You don't know until
yeah,
it
you don't know
happens.
till it happens, till you feel that hysteria and that sense of loss come over you. And that, you know, going through the grieving process, which has many phases: denial, anger, you know, depression. It had so many different phases, but all I could do was pray and sit and connect as well. Um, and breathe through it, you know. And that's kind of the 101. A lot of people ask me, where do I start, what do I focus on? You focus on you. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. You waking your life up, you waking your sense of self-control up, you surrendering to trust, yeah, you surrendering to spirit. And everybody's journey is different because we all have to face different stuff inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other difficult thing was a breakup. And
Girl,
girl,
you know those are the two main
the
things,
two
grief
main
and
things,
breakup.
heartbreak and
But they
death.
both
I
kind
mean,
of
come
like
on.
grief. But even
Heartbreak
like
and death.
grief is, I mean, not grief. Breakup is kind of like the losing of, like, like of loss,
Yeah, yeah, still lost
right?
as well. Yeah, for sure. I remember being like having a really, really hard day. And this is after the end of a 9-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And having a really, really hard day and just feeling so heavy. And I was like, all right, I'm going to meditate. And in my meditation, saying, you're going to give yourself 24 hours to feel like this, and then it's done. You're not going back to this place. But and the next day, I was able to come out of that energy because I took the time to feel it. Versus, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna push through. I was like, nope. I closed my door. I was in the dark. I cried. I allowed myself to really feel it enough
Mm-hmm.
for probably a couple weeks.
So you
And
let the boogers flow,
yep,
all of that.
yep. And I went into meditation and, you know, got received the guidance that I needed for myself on what to do. Um, and it's so interesting because that's what the point of our obstacles are. Our obstacles and the difficult things that we face in life are meant to push us spiritually and to nudge our spiritual development and unfoldment.
Mm,
That's the point.
it is. It's
Yeah.
levels. It's definitely levels to the what we call life.
Mm.
It's tests after tests. It's like the Mario game where you win one level, you go to the next, it just gets harder. You have to, keep passing until you get to the final stage of, I guess, ascending. But girl, like, but that's the best time I feel like things happen. Okay, so you said with the whole breakup. I had a breakup with my on and off whatever for what was it, maybe 13 years.
Woo!
And he called me one night, woke me up out of my sleep, like, hey, look, I can't do this no more. I can't do this to you no more. Like, I gotta end this. I was like, what? Like, I was like wiping the cold out of my eye. Like, what do you mean? Like, and we were long distance. So I was just like, what do you mean? What are you serious? Like right now? Like forever? You like we never again? And he was like, yeah, no. And I was just like, what? Like I didn't know what the hell was going on. My world felt like it was falling apart. Like there was so much stuff happening. Like I had got um an eviction letter. I had no job at the time. Like it was just so much stuff. And then him break I just was like, yo, like when God is trying to get me to be by myself. And I just accepted it and was like, you know what, whatever. And then my life started falling back into place. Like I ended up getting my apartment back. Like I started working for myself. Like I started, I wasn't looking for a job no more. I created
Yeah.
it. It was just like, like, and I really had to just sit with God, cry it all out, and just say, what do you want me to do? And listen to that voice. I didn't know I was meditating, girl. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I just was like, let me go sit somewhere in a park or something, like, because I like going outside. I like going to the bridge. I just need to be away from people and just be by water or nature. So, sometimes I don't like, I didn't process like be intentional, like how you were, where you were like, I'm going to feel it. I just was like, damn, like this has to happen all for a reason because I lost everything within the same week. And I was just like, and every time that happens to me, it's just like I know God is like, I guess the pivot moment that everybody's, have reference where it's like sometimes you get off course and you just need to just get, smacked.
Right. Pay
When I'm
attention.
older, but yeah, so like the whole now I'm starting to really get pushed into the whole meditation and so the book reference that I was talking about, it was like it said every successful person has meditate. Like you can't that's one of the, I guess, steps of success or in achieving riches is to meditate, because within meditation you're able to tap into your creative um I believe it's your creative imagination,
Yeah.
which is the sixth sense. So so I'm like reading this book like, yo, it is deep. Like it's everything ties in together with the whole like um just energy, spirituality, inner self, that voice, and even creating, because in order to be as close to God, we have to be in our creative
Yes,
mind.
absolutely. You have to silence your. So a lot of our lives, most of our lives, we're getting information, we're taking in ads, we're taking in the news, we're taking in everybody else's life, social media, all these things happening. All that stuff is weight. Right? So when we meditate, we create
Mm-hmm.
space to actually hear that. Right? We create space to hear your inner thoughts, to hear your inner truth, to actually feel. Right? And then you can, when you feel like a lot of people, I just might meditate. No, you're anxious. already. What you're doing is allowing yourself to feel the anxiety, pretending or doing, distracting yourself. Already, you're going to feel anxiety, and then it's going to pass. Yeah. So it's just about creating space for creativity to flow, for ideas to flow, intuition. The best part for me, ideas. Yeah, the divine creativity,
Yes.
feeling nudges to call certain things. You put your life in rhythm. Yeah, you silence your mind, and there's that saying, master your mind, master your life. And so this is a tool. There are
Girl.
multiple tools to master your mind. This is a tool to master your mind and really set the intention for your day. And the intention for your day, you set it for the week, you set it for the month. You set it for the month, you set it for the year. Every day, you and creator are orchestrating life. You're giving time and space in order for that to happen. Yeah, you with me? You feel me? You
Yes.
feel me?
Okay. Yeah, it's like it's just confirmation. Because I usually think about doing like looking at the bigger picture, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like the biggest dream. But then I started thinking about like when it comes to organizing and planning and just breaking it down into smaller plans and goals until it's like this really small one. And then I'm just basically laying the bricks. So every goal is like a little brick that I'm stacking. Once I'm finished with one, by the end of the time, by the end of uh create finishing all those goals, I've mastered the whole goal, but without realizing it, without the pressure of, oh my God, this is so hard to tackle. But when you chip a little bit away at it in detail, you're able to accomplish more, which actually helps you with self-esteem and confidence, because you're like, I just mastered this or
Yes.
whatever, I got a new skill. You know what I'm saying? So it's like empowering you at the same time and not overwhelming you in the same uh, you know instance. So yes, so I definitely, that was just confirmation with what you was just saying. So and so I still am, I'm not saying like I mastered meditation. Nope. I'd be like, how? But I mean, you definitely said something that guided me a little bit. I when we ask spirit to send us some type of sign, it's answered through our earthly angels. And you said sometimes when you're meditating and you're anxious, you're trying to like get away from it, and you're like, oh, well, I can't meditate because this and that. But to just sit there and be anxious and let that pass, that's what I wasn't doing. Like I would just be like, oh man, I I can't meditate because I'm not letting it
Yeah.
happen. Like, I'm not, you know, being in the present of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So
And you can
thank you.
sit with that and ask, why am I anxious? It will show up. You will know what's making you anxious. What should I do about that problem?
Mm-hmm.
The answer will come. We don't have to struggle. I always say that we don't have to struggle. God made us so that we could have an enjoyable experience here. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we choose and don't use all the tools, and we make our lives more difficult than they have to be. But there's plenty of tools here. So, yeah, it's a journey. I'm still growing in my journey. I mean, I've been doing this 16 years now, on and off, and still not a
Nice.
master. You know what I mean? And I don't know if
Mm.
that ever happens. But what I
I
go
mean,
ahead.
go ahead. No, I was gonna just say, I don't think anybody is ever going to be a master of anything, because the 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 beauty of life is always
Yeah,
learning,
yeah,
right? We never stop.
absolutely.
We never stop learning.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Everyone has a different experience. I have friends who have gone off the deep end in their meditation and have pulled back, right? Like the deep end of like seeing things or like,
Oh.
because there's different levels to consciousness, right? Into the unknown. You're tapping into the unknown. Um, and
Mm.
they've been like, that's a little too much information, so I'm gonna just come on back and I'm gonna keep it at 20 minutes just to get through my day instead of an hour, right? So
Mm-mm.
everyone's,
That's
yeah,
deep.
yeah, girl.
Power.
Yeah, everyone's spiritual journey and gifts are different. But one thing I do know is that we're spiritual beings first, and the world and the system benefits a lot off of us not thinking that or not believing it. Because then you can be controlled. And if you can be controlled, you
Mm-hmm.
spend your money and your
Yeah.
resources trying to figure out who you
And
are.
then,
But if you sit, you
yeah,
can learn who you are, you know? You can learn who you are.
it is. And that's the problem. Nobody knows who they are. They're being told who they are, or they're trying to mimic someone else. And it's like, yo, we all work together for the greater good. So if you see me doing something and you're like, oh, that's cool, please understand, I make it look cool because this
Yeah.
is the gift that I was given.
Mhm.
It is not for everybody. It's still a
Yeah.
struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's still something that was learned, and it was a practice. People come in into something and they want to do it like right away, and they're like, oh, because you made it look so easy,
Mhm.
I think I can do it. And it's like, no, this is years of work that led up to this. Like,
For
like this
sure.
never happened overnight. And, and it's only the strongest person, or the person who was actually wired in that certain way, is going to persist in that situation or that gift or the career, because that's what they've been um, fashioned throughout
Yeah.
life to do. You know what I'm saying? So people will be like, "Oh, well, I could make money off of that or whatever." You'd be like, "No, no, no." And then when knowing yourself and who you are, you don't care about anything. That's one of the things I did pick up from the Avatar and Buddhism, where it's the releasing of
Yeah.
attachments, to end up being with your higher self, or becoming more aligned with your higher self.
Yeah. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Just saying no, and just being okay with people being removed from your life and things. Um, so I've been able to kind of sit a little bit better with death, a little
Mm.
bit, because about a, not being attached. Um, I guess I still grieve people, but I don't grieve the
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
anymore. Like, I never was a crier. I lost my cousin. He left. He was killed at 22 on my sister's
Mm.
birthday, on the
Mm.
22nd, and and so when I told her, like, what I'm saying, I was just like, hey, our cousin died, and I no, actually, I was like, happy birthday. She was like, thank you. I gave her a gift, and I was like, well, our cousin died.
Mm.
Like, so I was always like the spirit of like calmness. Like, I didn't want people to be sad. But even at the funeral, I looked around and I was like, I couldn't cry. Like, I didn't cry. And I just was like, what is wrong with me? When I went to work a week later, I sat and looked out the window, and then I sat and thought about it. And I was like, I'm never going to see this dude again. And that made me
Mhm.
cry. It wasn't even like the whole what everybody was going through. Like, I just didn't have any feelings. And I went to one other funeral, and I was laughing at that funeral. The person thought I was crying because my head was down, but I was like, why am I laughing at this funeral? And I think it was because the spirit of the person who passed was funny. So I don't know if her energy was still there, and, was in the thing and made me laugh, but I could not stop laughing. And I was like, this is not even funny. What is happening? like every time it was like some death, it was like uh I I was able to like control myself. It just took a long time for me to really break down. Um and so I'm so now I'm just kind of like focusing on that where I'm like is I don't know if that's a gift or anything, but it's gravitating to just not being so detached because I know that energy is not lost but transferred. So it's like it's being put back into the universe, and then it strengthens us in numbers. So I'm like, these people still leave a legacy behind, so I don't mourn them as much, but I
That's
celebrate
awesome.
them. So it's, and I always thought that was something wrong with me. Like I was like,
It sounds like nothing you're saying for people who have a practice sounds strange. I went through a very similar experience with my perspective towards death. Not like you said, energy doesn't die.
mm,
If everything is energy and this person is energy, the energy doesn't die. It's somewhere else in the universe, and it's probably much closer than I think. So it's kind of, you're
mm,
you're realizing that everything is self and their personalities and the joy that they left you with by laughing. It's a very evolved perspective. So don't feel like, oh, something's wrong with me because I'm not mourning like everyone else. It's just,
girl, I was like, Cameron, just cry, show a tear. Like I was just like, this is weird. Um, but like, yes. And this one lady, she used to be like my mom at my old job, and they was like, yo, she died. And I was like, and they expected me to be really sad because we were really close. And I was like, I don't remember her sad at all. She was a happy person. Like, I can't be sad. I was like, she lived a good life. She retired. She passed, from thing. And I just was like, I don't have any bad memories of her. So I'm not sad, and I just was like, she was a good person. She laughed all the time. Like, so it was just kind of like, I think I switched into looking at the happy moments, and just looking at people as like what they left behind. And that is really what I'm trying to do, preparing myself to die. You know what I'm saying? Like what type of
yes.
legacy I'm trying to leave behind. I'm not gonna, so that is what I started now, like with the last 2 years, where it's like I'm preparing myself um for people around me to not, fall apart. Like it's kind of like, yo, look, I'm gonna leave this behind, but I'm not
Yeah.
trying to make y'all stop y'all lives
I mean, you're
if something.
saying some like pretty dope things here, and they have a lot of the Buddhist perspective as well. And not for nothing, Jesus did spend many years studying Buddhism as well. Um, so a lot of his
Mm,
teachings, they all come, they're very similar, just like all the spiritual teachings. But my point is that if you're
right.
able to face death and face this reality, every you will not always be in this form, then you can prepare for it and you can prepare your life and your legacy for it. And that's, if you are prepared, then you don't have to be afraid, because you know what it is that you're leaving behind.
Right.
You've handled your financial business and you have your life insurance and your family is good and they can bury you. You did your work to serve humanity. You did your work to enjoy yourself, enjoy your time here, because life is so short. It's so short and it's going by faster and faster. So enjoy, we say, suffer
Mm-hmm.
what there is to suffer, enjoy what there is to enjoy, right? Stop tripping. Stop tripping. Meditate. Stop tripping.
Girl, this this conversation came at the right time, girl, because I'm like, I'm about to go outside
You need
tomorrow.
to.
Like,
I was gonna
like,
tell you, you're
um,
tripping. Go outside.
yeah, like I
Go
need,
go to a park.
No, I heard it. It was your spirit. Your spirit told me. Like I was just like, I needed it. Like they was like, call Sakina, get on the podcast. We're gonna have this
Yes.
conversation, and the answers will be revealed to you. And no, because it, as I was hearing myself back, or like when you just started telling me what I was saying back, I'm like, what the hell am I scared for if I'm already preparing myself for what it is to come. Like we all have a purpose, and I don't think anybody's gonna die without serving their purpose. So, like if I go, then that means there was the purpose that I was supposed to accomplish. I
Mm.
did. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just be in my head, girl. Like I'm a hermit regardless. So the quarantine is
That
not
much of a big deal. You
new to
like, it's just
me.
another day in the life of Karen.
It is. Isn't so but it's like now that I can't go, now that they were just like, you can't go out and this people sending me like I do suffer sometimes from anxiety. So when people send me these WhatsApp messages or these DMs, just text messages like bombarding me with all of this craze, it it sends me in a little panic because it's like, yo, you don't have to keep sending me this stuff. Like, what are you trying to do right now? Because you're really trying to mess with my, emotions and keep me in this fear state, and I'm not trying to be there. I'm trying to create, and I can't create in
Exactly.
fear.
Yeah, don't listen to them.
So,
Don't answer the messages. Check the news maybe once or twice and let that be that. And don't feed into it, because yes, there's something happening concerning people's health. Yes, the lives that have been lost need to be acknowledged. However, we need to shift the energy. Yeah, and now is the time. It's so important more than ever for everybody to be praying, for everybody to be meditating, for everybody to begin their spiritual
mhm,
journey and to raise their vibration and to fill this world with joy, because otherwise we just get more darkness, we get more illness, we get more sadness, we get more depression, we
girl,
get more anxiety, and that's not what we're here to do. Yeah,
no, we're here
exactly.
to heal. Like, we need to be the light. And with all of that stuff, it was dimming my light, but I was just like, especially with this call, I'm like, nah, my
Yeah,
light gonna be shining. Like,
yeah,
be a beacon of
exactly.
hope to people because that who else is gonna do it? Like,
And not everybody is going to
girl,
have your courage or to have my courage. Not everybody is going to feel inspired to do the work. So that's why
mm,
we have a purpose, to help inspire others.
this is true. This is true because people they need that. We're gonna either light up the way or shade someone. Like you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of like either way, just light it because people people will crack on you and all this extra stuff and say, "Oh, you crazy," and but when worst come to worst and push come to shove, they are the same ones that come to you for like some type of inspiration, some word of encouragement. Like they'll DM like, "Hey, just going through this situation. Like, what do
Yeah.
like, can I talk to you about it?" Um, you know what I'm saying? And that happened to me a lot where people are just like, "Oh, okay, Miss Church Girl," and then they'll be the same ones confiding in me and trying to, so, and I'm just like, I really love that because in me walking or us walking in the light that we are is genuine and it's authentic and people will see it and they're like, I know she's not faking, so I'm gonna go to her. You know what I'm saying? It's and to still have that like Christ likeness where you're still open to the people. You don't shun them out. You know, like, oh, you laughed at me. No, it's more of like
Mm.
I planted a seed in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now you see the light, and that's what my purpose was, is just to give you an extension to, like, if you need someone to talk to, because I realized in my journey with through meditation and getting to know myself that it took time for me to get to where I'm at. So I should extend that same, what do you call it? The same courtesy to people who well, a lot of people think that, oh, you didn't listen to me last time, so I'm not talking to you. Most
It's
people
true.
are in denial, you know. So it's just like, you know what, people are human and people change. Change is constant. Um, but in order to walk in the light, you have to be the light. You can't pick and choose
Yes.
who you're going to be a light to. And,
Full of
you got to
love,
be
full of
full of
light,
love.
and if the whole
So,
world can be beacons of light, then, lightness and darkness can't be in the same place. And there's a lot of darkness out there,
mm,
and a lot of people benefit off of the darkness. So all we can do is our part, you know. That's all we can do. I'm really proud of
yes,
you.
as healers.
Hey.
Thank you. Well, I'm proud of you. Is this a
I'm
second book that you
actually
got going
working
out?
on book 4. Yeah.
What?
So
Wait,
after
how
Big
did I
Words to
miss
Little
book
Me
three?
was a
Okay.
book of affirmations called Daily Moves, Affirmations for Millennial. And then it was a journal called A
Mm-hmm.
Hustler's Planner. And that is sort of like a how to find your purpose and organize your hustle guide. And then now book 4
Mm-hmm.
is going to be dropping this summer. In August, it's called To Begin, My Journey in Self Love and Self
Nice.
Discovery.
That's nice. I think that would actually, it would go with what the time is right now, because most
I
people are going to
know
be
that's
trying to
right.
begin again. You know what I'm saying? So it aligns with what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
To
So
begin,
that's
here we
what's
go.
up, to begin, because we are transitioning. This is the year people, it's so crazy. People are like 2020, I'm so done. Like, give it back. No, 2020, it's like an infection.
Mm,
It's gonna get worse before it get better. Like, you want a good vision. I felt like 2020 was like answering
mm,
everybody's prayers. Like, oh, you want a vision? I'm gonna have to take you away from all of the stuff that um, and clear your
yeah,
path so you can start
hmm,
over or do what you're supposed to be doing. So
I
it's still a
agree.
year of vision, I believe. Um, and transition, like all of that
It's
stuff in the
dead. It's
past, that's
done.
death. That's dead. It's new. You know what I'm saying? New decade, new newness. So you have to wipe out all of that old stuff, remove. I my hearts go to everybody who has passed. Um, I, you know, but it's like a lot of this. There's not so much bad happening throughout this. I think we can come out a greater people, a more connected and spiritual people,
Mm,
more humanity driven people, like, more connected. Um, because we took that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody goes and see nobody
yeah.
anymore. And now the fact that everybody is, um,
No, I
I
was
don't know if you were
agreeing
just trying to
with
say something.
you. I'm agreeing. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, now that everybody is online and nobody can sit down and hug and all this extra stuff, by the time I'm looking at it as in a positive light, where when this is lifted, people gonna want to see each other. People gonna want to be like, "Yo, let me hug you. Like, let me
Yeah.
like hi." You know what I'm saying? Start coming back together. There's some people who think the opposite, but I doubt that.
Yeah, hopefully
Um,
humans have will learn their lesson and will actually, because usually when we're with each other, we are not with each other, we're on our phones, you know. So now that we're getting all this phone and screen
mhm.
time, hopefully when we actually connect again, we will really honor the value of human connection and the value of being with and around the people that we love.
Yes, and doing things that we want to do instead of saying we ain't got time. Listen, okay? Like, you better
Yeah,
do what you want to
yeah.
do. You better meditate together. Like, go on a road trip,
Oh, it was
just like you
awesome.
and Janelle did. Listen, go onto a mountain, be with one with with nature. And I suggest watching Avatar, The Last Airbender,
It gets
like
you together.
because
It gets you together.
it will. It in so simple like so much simple terms. Like it's like, yo, I learned about
I know exactly what
chakras
episode you're talking
in
about. I
that show.
showed it to my friend the other day. I was like, you need to watch this. Yep.
With the blockage,
Yep.
right? Where he had the river. Oh my God. I was
The
like,
onion and
oh
banana
my
soup.
God. I was like, yes. I was like, look at this detox and all that situation. I was like, yo, the most powerful part when I learned about the be detaching from earthly possessions
Mm-hmm.
and human connections was when he was trying to save the
Okay.
world, and he was like, I don't want to leave like his
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. Like he was like, I don't want to leave her, and the guy was like, but if you stay,
Mm.
she's gonna die. If you don't become your higher self, if you don't become your higher self, then you won't be able to
Yeah.
save her and the world. So you have to
Yeah.
let her go. So it was just like, oh, like he had to think about it like, yo, I can only, in order to save her, I have to let them go. So like I took it as, in life for me, in order to save or make everybody else better, I have to become one with myself and become the higher self that I am, no matter how hurt everybody else is. I have to be disciplined enough to know that my sacrifice will
Yeah.
benefit in the
You have
long
to save
run.
yourself first. You can't save other people. So you have to save yourself first.
Mm-mm.
And then by
Just
you saving yourself, you sort of lead a revolution. People see Karen become happy and Karen get the things that she wants and manifesting and dealing with obstacles with a smile on her face. And it's like, well, what you doing? I want to do it. And then
exactly.
yeah, and then you
I want
empower
that.
them to save themselves. And then we have a ripple effect going here. And now people aren't being
And
crazy and self-centered and evil, but everyone's focusing on their healing and really making their lives better and then making the planet a better place.
yes, yes,
Yep.
yes, oh, yes, yes to all of that. Like I can't even say anything else, but yes. And it's just that's all I want to do is like have that smile, and I've had a couple of people say, "Why are you smiling? Why you always smiling?" Like I'm like, "Why aren't you smiling? Like why is there a problem with me smiling or doing good? Like that just you might want to rethink what the issue is here because it's
Mm,
not me smiling." So yeah, and it's what I realize is just
yeah.
projection of people. You know what I'm saying? I used to get offended. Now I'm like, what is your problem? Like, what is the issue that you got going on? What is hurting you that's preventing you from feeling free enough to smile? Where my
Mm-mm.
smile irritates you. Like, what is that? So, and through my therapy, girl, I found that
Right,
it was never
exactly.
my issue.
Exactly. Yep. You
Yeah.
should read next. You should read the Four
So
Agreements. I'm finishing it up now. And then there's another one called, is it called The Power of Being Assertive?
Now,
No, I think it's The Power of Being
wait,
Assertive.
the four agreements. I'm writing this down. Of being. Oh yeah, because I had issues with being assertive. Now, girl, they be like, "You want to go?" Nope. Damn, that quick? I'm like, "Yep, I already know. I ain't gonna go." No, I don't. No, I don't need to. Like, if it don't make sense, if it don't align, that's like one of my biggest things with like self care, self love is like if it does not align with me, if I feel a way, I'm not gonna do it regardless. Um, and that saved me a lot, girl. Like I was like, what was I doing? How was I loving myself before? But I've learned I learned a lot. So I'm gonna look into those two other books. Right now, after Think and Grow Rich, I'm gonna read Jay-Z Made in America. I'm gonna read that because I really like how the author, I don't remember his name from the top of my head, but the book is all the way in my room. I don't want to run and get it, but yeah, so I'm gonna read that and then I'm gonna start looking into that. I have a few other books that I do want to get to, but I'm able to sit down now and actually read the books that I've been wanting to read. So that is good. So okay, so Sakina, what are your plans for your
Quarantine the rest
quarantine
of
for
the
the rest of
week
the week?
consists of uploading new videos onto YouTube that have stretches and just movement that people who are elderly and disabled can do from home.
Mm-hmm.
Uploading podcast episodes for of Quest for Truth. I have to have you come on there. Yes, and talk about your spiritual
Ooh,
journey.
yes.
Then it's spring break at the
Okay.
college, so I don't have to teach any virtual classes. Thank God, because that has sucked. I can't lie. Uh, and I'm supposed to start
Congratulations.
learning Japanese on Duolingo with my nephew because he wants to go to Japan soon, and I'm taking him. Apparently, is what he tells me. So. So I'm gonna start learning
Wow.
Japanese and doing
Nice.
reading. I did sort of start to create a schedule for myself once we got back from our road trip. Um, acclimating myself to my
Mm.
normal schedule, waking up early, doing meditation in the morning, doing yoga, steaming my face, which is really good for detoxing and also kills viruses. Hint, hint. Uh-huh. Clear it up.
Mm-hmm. Clear it
Steaming, working out. Then I do my work for the day. So that's my plan. The days have been going by pretty fast, but I'm just enjoying the time to be still. I think everybody should enjoy the time to be still and let life do its thing. Surrender and let life do its thing. Amen.
That's a word. Okay. So thank you so much, Sakina, for joining me on my podcast. I can't wait to
Yay.
join you
Thank you
on
for
yours.
having me. This was a great connection. And again, I'm inspired and it means a lot that you will
you.
call me to talk about meditation. So thank you. It means the word is reaching where it needs to reach.
Yes, of course. Of course. I see you. I be seeing you on IG. Like I'm like, yes, let me cause you're the person that I need to speak to about meditation. So yeah, girl. It's all about wellness and it's all about connection and empowering one another. So
Thank you. I
thank you for
appreciate
being
that,
your
love,
authentic
sis. I
self.
really do. Have a good one.
You're
Soon,
welcome.
soon. God
Have a
bless.
great night.
Bye.
Same to you, I say.
Namaste.
And namaste. Thank you again for listening to Beauty and Braids. I'm your girl Karen, and this has been another great day. Until next time, you'll hear from me then. In the meantime, please follow me on @Hair by Karen, @Shop Braid Appeal, and @YTC Nonprofit. Get to know me a little bit better. Check them out. Bye.